Imagine standing on a beach at sunset. The sky is glowing orange and red, but the rocks and sand in front of you are much darker. If you expose for the sky, the foreground becomes almost black. If you expose for the foreground, the beautiful colours in the sky disappear into a bright white blur. The problem isn't your camera. The problem is that the scene contains more brightness than a single photograph can capture. A camera only has a certain dynamic range, meaning it only captures a certain range of light. If you want to find out more about dynamic range, watch this video linked. This is exactly the situation that exposure bracketing was designed to solve. Instead of taking one photograph, the camera takes several, each with a different exposure. One image may preserve the highlights, another the shadows, and another sits somewhere in the middle. Later, you can either choose the exposure you prefer, or combine them into a single HDR image that contains detail throughout the entire scene. HDR is high dynamic range, and we're going to learn about this in a future video. You can perform exposure bracketing manually by adjusting the exposure manually each photograph yourself. To do this, you could just alter the shutter speed up or down a stop, you could use the exposure compensation, or you could change the ISO. And it's usually just a case of sliding the dial with your finger, so you can do so without taking the eye away from the viewfinder. Which to change depends entirely on which mode you're in, i.e. in aperture priority you could change the shutter speed or perhaps the ISO. Be aware that changing the aperture will cause the depth of focus to change, so if you're looking for a certain bokeh effect, then change the ISO or shutter speed, otherwise the bokeh is going to look a little bit different. This works perfectly well, but has one major disadvantage. Every adjustment takes time, and unless the camera is mounted on a tripod, it becomes surprisingly difficult to keep the composition identical between shots. If people are moving, or clouds are drifting across the sky, or the light is changing quickly, the sequence may no longer line up properly. For this reason, most photographers prefer to use automatic exposure bracketing, often abbreviated to AEB. Once enabled, the camera automatically captures the bracketed sequence with a single press of the shutter button in a rapid burst. The images are taken so quickly they remain almost perfectly aligned, making them much easier to compare or combine later. The camera will take a certain number of photos, known as the bracket size. All you then need to do is just combine them later in your favourite photo editor. Most cameras allow you to choose both the number of exposures and the spacing between them. 3-shot bracketing at -1, 0 and +1 stop is suitable for many situations. However, many cameras also offer 5-shot or even 7-shot bracketing for scenes with particular extreme contrast. If the scene has a much greater brightness range, such as the church interior with stained glass windows, or maybe a room looking out through a sunny window, 5-shot bracketing at -2, -1, 0, +1 and +2 stops often captures significantly more highlight and shadow detail. Some advanced cameras even allow 7 or 9 exposures for the most demanding lighting situations. You may be wondering why not simply just brighten the shadows or recover the highlights later when editing a RAW file. Most cameras are remarkably capable, but every sensor has limits. Once highlights have been completely clipped to pure white or shadows have become featureless black, then detail is often gone forever. Exposure bracketing gives you additional information that simply wasn't present in a single photograph. Exposure bracketing is also useful when you're unsure of the correct exposure. Even experienced photographers can sometimes be fooled by snow scenes, beaches, concerts, backlit portraits or night photography. Taking a bracketed sequence acts as an insurance policy. In the next lesson, we're going to move beyond the camera settings and look at how photographers actually think when deciding whether to bracket a scene. You'll see practical examples from a wide range of situations, perhaps landscapes, architecture and portraits, and develop a simple decision-making process that quickly tells you when exposure bracketing is worth using and when a single exposure is all you need. Hope this video is useful, guys, and of course don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and I shall see you soon on another video.